Good evening, you're watching Plain Speak with me, Toya Singh. Tonight we're going to be starting the show by taking you to West Bengal. Sandeshkhali is once again the story we're starting with. Now, Sandeshkhali itself is just one among hundreds of islands in the Sundarban Delta. But for the last month and a half, as you know, it's been bang in the center of politics in the state of West Bengal. On Feb 8th, pay attention to all of the dates in the next few minutes. On Feb 8th, more than 18 days ago, local women first blocked the main roads in Sandeshkhali. They were demanding the immediate arrest of a local TMC kingpin, Sheikh Shahjahan, and his two aides, Shiva Prasad Hazra and Uttam Sardar. Locals have accused the TMC leaders of land grabbing, sexual abuse and harassment. Now, the BJP has very expectedly found ammunition with these allegations, and in the 8 days since the West Bengal government itself set up redressal mechanisms, more than 700 complaints have come in from locals in this village. Today, the Calcutta High Court in particular has issued some stern words. They've demanded the arrest of the TMC kingpin, Sheikh Shahjahan, and the TMC itself has promised that the arrest will take place in 7 days from now. But this begs the question, why did it take so long? And as the TMC has continuously said they don't know where the absconding leader Sheikh Shahjahan is, what exactly is the plan to find him? Finally, is the Trinamool Congress government finally, because this is a question we've been asking for many days now, 2 weeks almost, are they finally reacting under pressure? This is the big question. We'll talk to all of our guests in just a few minutes. Take a look. This is the question we're taking a look at tonight. Now, let's take a quick look at what the High Court had to say. This is today itself, and whether or not the TMC will now be forced to act, how the TMC's answered. The High Court saying no order. So till now the TMC had framed it as we need clarification from the High Court. The High Court has said, look, we've not issued any order that is stopping the police from arresting Sheikh Shahjahan. Now the TMC has said that the arrest was stuck, as we told you earlier. They've said that they had a lack of clarity on whether or not it had been stayed. That's what they'd earlier said. Now that's where the High Court is clarifying, no, absolutely no stay on arrest in any proceedings have been done. The TMC is saying it's the High Court that has cleared the way now and allowed the police to act. So you can see how the TMC is framing this. It's important to look at the framing because that's what we're going to take a deeper dive into in just a second. Now, the High Court has also said there's an FIR out against him. He's been named as the accused in this case. The TMC said the opposition was doing politics on the arrest so far. We're just trying to contrast for you the High Court's word and the TMC's words. The High Court has also said, obviously he needs to be arrested. I just want to point out for you, and we'll bring this to you in just a few seconds, that days ago the High Court had also made a statement like this. Today's is sterner, but this is not the first time they're coming down on Sheikh Shahjahan. Now the TMC is saying, and this is what we started with, that Sheikh Shahjahan will be arrested in 7 days. Of course, that is the key question, because where Sheikh Shahjahan is, he's been absconding since early January when the ED came to look for him. Where is he now? That obviously remains the key question. We're going to bring you more numbers right here. Okay, let's take a look right now at what the complaints are against Sheikh Shahjahan. So Sheikh Shahjahan is someone who has been a TMC legislator in the Sandeshkhali region for the last few years. Locals say the allegations they're making go back 5 to 10 years. Now the FIRs, what are the exact complaints? Number one, obviously, the biggest complaint of land grabbing. We told you earlier that 700 complaints had come out. A vast majority of them are in land grabbing. Essentially, that locals are saying they've been forced to convert their agricultural land into land for rearing fisheries. Now, the other two allegations, sexual exploitation. There have been 2 written complaints of rape that have come out of this region. Now, the other things here, there's an ED cheating case in land encroachment on Feb 24th. There's also, and remember, it's the ED that perhaps lit the fire under all of this, because it's in January when the ED went to his house to search it that he went absconding, and it's since then that we've actually seen a lot of this drama play out. You also have the ED ECIR, which is equivalent to an FIR under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act that is against him, as we just told you. The ED suspects he siphoned off funds in a ration distribution scam. So this is along with all of the allegations we're taking a look at. Okay, let's move on very quickly. The last thing we're bringing you, all of this for your understanding before we take a deeper dive. Who are the key men that you need to keep in your mind as we bring you this discussion in just a few minutes? Number one, as we told you already, Sheikh Shahjahan, who has been absconding from the ED itself since early January. The TMC says they don't know where they are. Interestingly, the TMC says, look, the BJP knows where he is. The BJP has said where he is. As we just walked you through these FIRs, so we'll take you to the next slide very quickly on this. After the High Court came down on him, now the TMC said we're going to arrest him in 7 days. Okay, let's move on. The next person, Shibu Hazra. 2 key aides we're going to be taking a look at. Shibu Hazra is the first of them. He is a close aide of Sheikh Shahjahan. He was arrested on Feb 17th. When we're saying aides, Sheikh Shahjahan is considered to be the kingpin in this. These are all men who were working for him. He faces charges of attempt to murder. Another case of gang rape was filed today. He is the person who has been named in these cases in particular. Uttam Sardar is the other key aide. Uttam Sardar and Shibu Hazra are the 2 men against whose suspension orders have also come forward from the TMC. So not Sheikh Shahjahan, the kingpin, but these 2 other leaders. Now, he, as we told you, is a close aide. He was arrested back Feb 10th. So the first arrest was actually his. He was accused of sexual harassment. Very interestingly, the TMC kept saying, we have already arrested one of our TMC leaders, and this is the example they kept giving. He is accused of rioting and inciting violence, as you can see. We're just going to very quickly walk you through all of the other men. Now, these are other men in this story. Sheikh Shahjahan's brother, who is on the run. It is important to point out for you, he is someone who is considered to be running a local fiefdom along with his brother. He forcefully acquired and grabbed land. Now, it's important to tell you that the state has started the process of returning some of that land. But farmers are now asking, you've already put salt water in our land and on our agricultural land. How can we turn it back? The allegation against him in particular is that he tortured shopkeepers of the area. Okay, next. Ajit Mehti was arrested this morning. Important, he's a close aide of Sheikh Shahjahan also. Why is it important? Because it's actually, as we told you, he was arrested this morning. It's at his house that locals actually went and protested over this past weekend. So clearly it seems like the list of TMC leaders who are involved in this is only growing larger and larger. As we told you earlier, he's been accused of land grabbing. And now we're going to take you to one more person, Shankar Sardar. He's a TMC Panchayat leader in Sandeshkhali. This is perhaps the most recent addition to the story because his house was also vandalized by locals. Why is this so key? Because we're seeing locals vandalizing the houses of local leaders that they are angry with. He's been accused of land grabbing and the torturing of villagers. And these are accusations that have come forward from villagers once they've been allowed to complain. Okay. We're now going to present to you the question tonight. What exactly are we looking at? The TMC finally saying they're going to take action. They've said Sheikh Shahjahan's arrest is going to take place in 7 days. But this big question is the state finally acting because the High Court has come down on them? Let's take a look.
আমরা কমপ্লেন্টস পেয়েছি গতকাল অবধি আমরা এই কমপ্লেন্টসগুলো আমরা দেখছি যে যে অ্যাকশনেবল ইনপুটস আছে আমরা ওতে এফআইআর করছি
What has happened in Sandeshkhali? It's horrible. It's unimaginable that women have to go through this.
More than 800 petitions have been received. The process has started. The women who have come forward, they have started asserting themselves.
সেই ভোটে আমার ছেলেকে বলছে তুই এই বিজেপি করেছিস তুই আমাদের তৃণমূল করিস না
Okay, let's issue a quick good evening to all of our panelists who are with us today. Let me walk you through who they are and then we'll go over to each of them for more questions. Priyanka Tibrewal, spokesperson for the BJP. Riju Datta, spokesperson for the All India Trinamool Congress. O.P. Vyas, a member of the fact-finding committee that went to the ground. Also a former joint registrar of the NHRC. And Rajat Roy, a senior journalist. Good evening to all of you. Thank you for joining us here on the show today. All right, we're going to go over first to Riju Datta. He's joining us from the TMC. Sir, you and I have spoken a few times over the last few days. So I just want to ask you, let's start by taking a look at what Kunal Ghosh said a few hours after the High Court order. He said that the leader, Sheikh Shahjahan, right at the center of all of this, will be arrested in the next 7 days. Before I take any questions to you, I wanted to give the TMC a chance to clarify here. What do they mean? Do they mean that they know where Sheikh Shahjahan has been over the last few weeks and they're now going to locate him? Is that what they're implying? Just bring us more context, please.
No. Let me be very blunt on your show. See, all this time, the opposition tried to say that Sheikh Shahjahan is being shielded and he is nowhere to be found and whatnot. But as per the words of DGP West Bengal, not Trinamool Congress, there was no formal complaint against him before 6th of February. Now, yesterday, my National General Secretary said it's the judiciary that has shielded Sheikh Shahjahan. Why did we say that? And then subsequently, BJP went to High Court and today the Honorable Milords have clarified it. Why is because of this expert from the High Court order. And I'm sure you have that as well, where in point number 8, it says that it goes without saying the West Bengal State Police shall also be restrained from proceeding with the investigation in the cases which have been registered by them. When talking about the FIR filed by the and the SIT that was formed by the single judge bench of Justice Joy Sengupta. But in that case, they said that the High Court said West Bengal Police cannot take action. Now, when West Bengal Police hands are being freed by the Honorable Calcutta High Court, we know that in the Sharoda's case, the prime accused was arrested by the West Bengal Police from the Kashmir border. So we are confident that Sheikh Shahjahan will be arrested within the next 7 days. Continuously, elected representatives of Trinamool Congress based on complaints
Let me just, okay, one sec.
have been arrested.
Sir, I'm not stopping you at all from speaking. I just want to ask you quickly. So what you're saying now is that now that the West Bengal police has gotten the clear go-ahead, you, the TMC, have full faith in the police's ability to find Sheikh Shahjahan within the next 7 days. That's accurate?
Correct.
But sir, I do want to ask you, and Priyanka Tibrewal will just come to you. We will give you the opportunity to respond to what they've just said. But I do want to ask Mr. Datta a follow-up question very quickly before we go ahead. Sir, the court that we're talking about, the Calcutta High Court, I can read out for our audiences because 6 days ago also they'd made an observation. And in that observation, they'd said that if one person, I'm just going to read this out for our audiences, if one person can hold the entire population to ransom, then that person should not be encouraged by the ruling dispensation. What prevented the TMC from suspending him over the last few days, sir?
See, the problem that we are facing in the state of West Bengal is that the Honorable High Court makes observations, but they don't give it in writing. Observations from time and again we have seen who belong to Bengal, they know better that Honorable High Court and the Honorable Judges, they make observations, give it in writing. Today they gave it in writing, and I believe it is Miss Priyanka Tibrewal who went for a clarification to the High Court, where the High Court has given the clarification on writing. My question is this: I am showing here an expert from the Chief Justice's order. Point number 7 and point number 8, which
Mr.
you are
Datta,
privy to.
Mr. Datta, one
Then
second.
what is
No,
there?
Mr.
It's
Datta,
clear.
I firstly, I just want to say I appreciate the fact that you've actually brought that paragraph with you. I also appreciate that you're sharing it with our audiences and you're actually quoting the language from the judgment. I really appreciate that. But I do want to say, sir, the question I'm asking you right now is not about police action. I'm asking you about the TMC and the action the TMC could have taken. Within their own purview, no one was stopping them, sir, over the last few days from suspending a leader against who now there are more than 700 complaints on the ground. And again, we've been very accurate with our audiences. We've talked about land grabbing, for example, because earlier in previous shows you've said, for example, that it's important to be very specific. Yes, 700 plus allegations ranging from a number of things. Sexual assault, yes, but there is also land grabbing, which forms the mass of those complaints. So was that not enough reason to suspend your leader?
Again, I will say that we have suspended senior leaders, sitting cabinet ministers like Jyotipriya Mollik and Partho Chatterjee, right? So when Uttam Sardar, there was a complaint of sexual torture against him, we have expelled him from the party. And he
Why not Shahjahan?
Now, again, and, madam, I will not interrupt when you speak, so let me
Don't get irritated.
So when, in the matter of
Mr. Tibrewal, we will come to you. 1 second, please. I do want Mr. Datta to answer our question.
Shahjahan, when our senior leaders went on ground, the senior leadership, the cabinet ministers who went to have formed the report and has submitted to the chairperson of the party. Now, for Sheikh Shahjahan, whether he will remain in the party or not, I am again telling you, if we can expel Parthocharya and Jyotirmoy Malik, Shahjahan is nobody. But the final call will be taken by the chairperson. Until unless that call is being taken, it is not my place to give a comment on that on national TV. So we are just waiting for the judgment of the chairperson.
Okay, so
Kindly
that,
allow me a quick
question
rebuttal.
itself, Mr. Datta, I will say then, and I just want to spell it out. I don't actually think you've answered it because you've said we'll wait for the final decision. But why it hasn't happened till now in the last few days? Because these are allegations that have been there since early February. That question still remains. Let's go over to Priyanka Tibrewal, spokesperson for the BJP. Ma'am, if you want to respond.
Right. Yeah, very good evening. See, I can completely understand because there's a complete absent law and order situation in West Bengal, and especially today, I see my friend, fumbling in actions. He's jittery. He's hesitant because the way the court has slammed them and pulled them, so he is left with no words. I really pity Riju because it is very difficult to, defend something which is not undefendable. And I understand. See, just now you said that just because of the observations, you could not suspend Shah Jahan. Although there were so many allegations against him, but you suspended Uttam and Shibu. Now, my question to you is, while suspending Partho and the other guy, Jyotirmoy Malik, were you waiting for the court's observation? No, definitely not. Now you are saying that, you are trying to act knave, that this was written in the order. There was nothing like that. And you also understand English very well, Riju. So whatever Abhishek Banerjee was trying to do yesterday was, just to mislead people by saying that this is the order, we can't arrest. Now, another simple solution to this was, if it was there in the order, if your police knows very well where is Shah Jahan, they could have told the ED that where he is hiding, these are his hideouts. If they think that according to the court's order, their hands were tied, why didn't they give the information? See, now this is completely understandable that Shah Jahan was being, saved and safeguarded by TMC and the police administration. I told today, immediately after coming out from the court, that see, now TMC is left with no options. Firstly, because the High Court has said that, there's a lookout notice for Shah Jahan now, which will be printed in all the newspapers. So either the police administration of West Bengal, in order to show that they are so competent, they will catch Shah Jahan in 48 hours and produce him before the court and say that, see, we have caught him. Or the second option is that, they would say that we didn't know where Shah Jahan is. But the first option will work because otherwise they know that the Calcutta High Court has understood what is the situation, how the police is working, and the matter will be handed over to the CBI. Just because they fear that it is their actions will speak louder than the words now. And they will show that, see, we have arrested him. So that means you clearly knew where Shah Jahan is.
Right, that's
so
exactly...
whatever will happen, the arrest of Shah Jahan, the credit goes to us because we went to the court, we pulled your government so hard that now people like Shah
I will say, when we're covering it here on the show, it's less the question of who the credit should go to and more the fact that if you look at the records that are coming in, the accounts that are coming in from locals, this is systematic oppression that was taking place for almost 10 years. Less about BJP or TMC getting credit.
We fought it out in the
court. 1 second. Okay, Ms. Tibrewal, Mr. Datta, 1 second. I want to go over to O.P. Vyas. He's a member of the fact-finding committee. Mr. Vyas, if I'm accurate, and please come in here, you went to the ground in Sandeshkhali. If that's accurate, sir, do tell me what you found, because again, the opposition opposition in West Bengal, they've long said that there's systematic complicity taking place. And the Women's Commission that went there, they found, the National Women's Commission, they said it was even local police that was complicit. So what did you find?
First of all, let me say that I feel very sad about the state of affairs there in West Bengal. In the morning yesterday, in order to intimidate us, we were hunted down in the hotel itself, where we were served the notice under section 144 CRPC. You see, the delegation or the fact-finding team which we were part of was headed by a former Chief Justice of Patna High Court. I mean, very eminent persons were there. I have served the National Human Rights Commission for the last 27 years. For 27 years I have served, and I have never seen such type of dictatorship there in a state like West Bengal. So we were hunted there, we were intimidated then we told them that we will go in a group of 2 persons. If not, the two lady members who are part of our fact finding committee, they can go there. So we intimated them, and when we were about 70 kilometers away, then we were stopped unlawfully, and we were told that you cannot go ahead. We said that under what provisions of the constitution, under what provisions of law? We were forcibly stopped there, and you will be surprised that the police officers, sadly one of the IPS officer, he threatened, he intimidated us. The officers there, two officers, they acted indifferently as if they are agents of the ruling party. They were carrying out the illegal orders of their higher ups. You will be shocked that it's completely unheard that a former Chief Justice of a High Court, a senior IPS officer, myself being former Joint Registrar Law, two lady officers, one was a former member of the National Commission for Women and a senior journalist, a former consultant with the NCPCR, we were arrested. I mean, we are still unable to understand as to under what provisions. I mean, we were far away from the barricades. We did not break any law. This complete lawlessness is there. There is no rule of law. And I still challenge the ruling party. I still challenge the state government. I still challenge the Chief Secretary and DGP government of West Bengal to prove their action as to under what provisions. Section 151, I mean, that is completely misuse of power. I can say with full conviction and full responsibility that there is complete breakdown of constitutional machinery there. And the executive there, they are acting like a political agent. So that is the state of affairs. They wanted to stop us like they stopped us during the Ram Navami violence, where the 144 CRPC was not in place. Here, 70 kilometers away, the 144 CRPC was there, and we were stopped.
Kindly allow me to add something.
No, Mr. Brabal, you'll have to wait. Mr. Vyas,
I mean, they feared that they will get exposed. Bangladeshis can remain, they can roam freely, they can stay freely, they can settle there. Rohingyas can move freely, but we as a member of civil society who have some place, I mean, in the main walk
Mr.
of
Vyas,
life,
I do want to say thank you for sharing your experience.
That is the irony.
It's clear that you were very, very shaken by what happened yesterday. Let me go over very quickly. Mr. Datta, the reason I'm highlighting Mr. Vyas's voice here, and I just want to highlight this for our audiences, is because Mr. Vyas was part of an independent fact-finding committee. Right? This is not the BJP that is speaking. This is Mr. Vyas. He went there yesterday, and his account has been shared across national media, not just on CNN News 18, where him and those who were on his panel have made this allegation. How would you like to respond, sir? Because what he said right now, very, very serious, saying that local police officers are acting as if they are agents of the government. Go ahead, sir.
Look, I do not go into personal attacks, so I have got nothing to say to Mr. Vyas. The problem is, independent fact-finding committees, members of the civil society, they are nothing but sycophants of their political BJP masters.
So he's saying, and he's accurate in saying that a former Chief Justice of the country, a former Chief Justice of the country was in that panel, sir.
We have seen Chief Justice, after giving cushy orders to the BJP, has got a cushy speech in the Rajya Sabha House. So let's not go down that line. Let me finish, please. You have asked me a question, give me the...
I have not stopped you. Please go ahead.
I challenge him to prove my political affiliation. I challenge him to prove my political affiliation.
Go to Manipur, sir. Please go to Manipur and then show your. Then I will.
No, Mr. Datta, you please tell us how your ministers visited.
I cannot do a debate like that. I cannot do a debate like
that. That is the question.
I cannot do a debate. It isn't.
I cannot do a debate.
Let's actually.
No, you cannot because you're lying. You cannot because you are not true. Whatever you are speaking is not the truth.
Okay.
Now, Toya, please ask him if there was 144.
Ma'am,
Mr.
one
second. Would not go.
We have a fourth panelist we haven't gone over to, Mr. Roy, Rajat Roy. No, Mr. Datta, I'll come back to you. We have a fourth panelist we haven't gone to at all. We'll come back to you. We are going to come to the TMC several times, I promise. Mr. Rajat Roy is with us. He's a senior journalist. Sir, I'm sorry we haven't spoken to you over the last few minutes. Sir, first just tell us, because you are a senior journalist, how you've seen all of the incidents play out over the last few days. Because some in the opposition have said that this story in particular has left the TMC shaken, but the TMC is arguing that no, right before elections, the timing on this entire story points to something much worse. So how do you see this?
Actually, I see this beginning of the end of the TMC rule in Bengal. This is the process, it just began. In 2008, while the left front was ruling the thing in Bengal, many of us did not believe that Singhu Nandigam will cause them this kind of problem, that they would be thrown out of power in 2011. Gradually it took place and that happened. So this time also we could see the symptoms are there, that some of the things are really falling into place, and it might be the reason that in Bengal, particularly in some of the areas where scheduled caste and Muslims and scheduled tribes are in the majority. And you must be knowing that in Bengal the population of scheduled caste is 23% and Muslims are over 27%.
Right.
And 8% Bengal scheduled tribes. So they form the majority of the Bengali population in Bengal. So there is some sort of churning going on, and Sandeshkhali has become the face of that churning.
Okay.
And that is a cause, should be a cause for worry of this for the ruling party, because already we could see that the central issue of all these agitations are two. One, the land question, and second is the women question, the harassment and persecution of the women. And these two together forms a formidable enemy weapon in the hands of the enemy of the ruling party. And this is the thing actually. In Nandigram Singur also, you have seen how the land question really
Right, it was the land question that started this entire story, sir. Yeah. The fall of the CPIM, the rise of the TMC. So just stay with us. I want to come for closing words to both Priyanka Tibrewal and then Riju Datta. Ms. Tibrewal, we have very, very little time. Please go ahead, but ma'am,
yes, I'll be quick on this. See, Mr. Datta is saying that, that the committee is not independent. That is why they were not allowed. Although the police came to Calcutta and told them that they can't go to Sandeshkhali. But the ministers and MLAs went to that Sandeshkhali, the TMC ministers, and the same was questioned today in the High Court. And what did the High Court say? That if it is good for the goose, it has to be good for the gander. 144 is applicable for all. How can they go? But what did the Advocate General say? Then he smartly said that they did not enter the area where there was 144. So fine, whichever area they have entered, that means the committee can go there, anybody can go there in the areas in which they have stepped in. See, Mamata Banerjee had refuted the claim, saying that nothing had happened in Sandeshkhali. Then why the lands are being returned today? If the lands were not grabbed, what is the police of Mamata Banerjee returning today?
Okay,
that is the bigger question.
Ma'am, let me just take that to Riju Datta. Riju Datta, the court itself said that it's a surprise to note that incidents that were reported 4 years ago are finally maturing into 42 charge sheets. It's taken 4 years. Some of these incidents were reported a very long time ago. So respond, but please respond to what other panelists have also said over the last few minutes.
I will categorically say this. See, I can understand the pain of the BJP, CPM and the Congress and all these committees and everything, where they are coming from. Why? I'll tell you. Because we are in the business of politics. Okay? BJP, Shubhendu Adhikari went there, Shukanta Majumdar went there, and all. They did all this because Sandeshkhali is in the limelight. So the opposition parties will go there so that they can
stay in the limelight.
But what will happen now is, within 7 days, when Sheikh Shahjahan is arrested and Pradhan Mantri Modi comes for Lok Sabha Prachar, all the accused are arrested. People have got
your own TMC MP has not visited the ground yet, sir. Forget Mamata Banerjee. Forget Mamata Banerjee. The MP that is in charge has not visited the ground yet. How can you be talking about the Prime Minister and the BJP right now when your own legislators are missing?
And they can't even go, because we have mentioned this in before the court. Now they can't even go.
Mr. Tibrewal, Mr. Datta, Mr. Vyas and Mr. Roy, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. We're heading into a very, very quick break. Right after the break, let's just tell you that we're going to be talking about developments that have taken place in the Gyanvapi case from this morning. So we're going to be shifting focus. It's the other top story. We'll see you in just a few minutes.